Hello everyone and welcome back. Welcome to another crafty decor adventure. Olivia with Olivias at home, and in today's video I am so excited to share with you guys 10 DIY Dollar Tree outdoor garden decor crafts. So if you all are new, welcome. I am Olivia with Olivias at home, and I love to share with you guys how you can make your home's boutique gorgeous on a budget. And it is summertime. Listen, I love to kick back during the summer and really spend a lot of time with my kids, a family, puttering around in the garden with my puppy dog, going to the pool, and all of that kind of fun stuff. So I feel like summer crafting should be easy, fun, and fabulous as always. Hey, listen, join me on this crafting and decorating journey by subscribing to my YouTube channel. It's totally free. You can punch the bell and click all, and that will update you every single time I post a new video. So thank you guys for being here, and without further ado, let's go ahead and plug in those glue guns, get out your glitter and paint, and let's get to crafting. For this next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with y'all how you can make a super adorable little hanging garden planter. This is going to be a summer garden planter. So you're going to take two of the Dollar Tree trellises and you're going to flip one upside down, nestle them up against each other to where you have these two columns. And then in the center point of the columns, take your little zip ties and zip tie them together to where it is nice and sturdy. What we want to do is add some cute little garden planters here. Now, I want to share with you guys a super great little tool. Grab one of those Cricut scrapers if you have one on hand and use that to scrape off those pesky Dollar Tree stickers. You guys know what I'm talking about. And then I just use a box cutter to cut little holes in the back, and then I'm taking zip ties to zip tie them on to my little garden planter trellis. I love making these garden planters. I think they're so super fun, and you can put real or fake flowers. Now the trellises aren't as sturdy as the plastic garden gates that I've used on other ones, so be careful how much weight you put in it. This works fine, but I'm just saying if you guys get really crazy and start loading them down, you just might want to be careful. There may be a weight limit. Now I'm taking some of these little Dollar Tree ferns, and I do have styrofoam hot glued to the base of the little galvanized garden tins, and I'm just popping that in. So adding a nice little layer of greenery is going to make it feel summery and blooming. I'm telling you guys right now that it is so beautiful right now where I live. Everything is greening up, and we have like little rolling hills. They call them mountains, but I don't really feel like they're technically mountains, but they're beautiful once all the greenery comes in, lush with trees, and we have lakes where I'm from. And so drop a comment down below and let me know where you guys are from. Are you seeing a lot of green grass and trees and beautiful flowers starting to pop out wherever you're at? We're getting some really nice weather. It's in the 90s now. So that's been really, really nice, and a big change of pace. So, we go from pretty chilly to just boom summer. And so I have to constantly be adjusting what I'm wearing so it's not too hot, but then I have to bring like a little jacket for the evening. Anyway, I'm also popping in some of these little cute Dollar Tree lemons and a little bit more greenery. I want this to feel kind of like just a fun kind of lemon flavorful kind of kitchen floral. I think greenery during the summer is so fun, and adding in some little lemons gives your greenery that pop of color. Now look how super adorable this turned out. I think it looks absolutely amazing, totally fun and fabulous on a total budget. Perfect. So for the next Dollar Tree hack, I want to share with you guys, I'm going to take this Rust-Oleum metallic gold spray paint, and I'm actually going to take this little Dollar Tree beach ball, and I want to spray paint it and make it look like one of those mirrored garden balls. At a garage sale or maybe on the side of the road thrift store, I had picked up one of those stands that you put like a garden mirrored ball on, and I've never bought one of the little garden mirrored balls that go on top of it. So I'm just spray painting this little beach ball. The toughest thing about this was getting the beach ball to stay steady, but once I had that done, I popped it right onto there, and I thought it just looked so perfect. So for the next DIY, I'm going to share with you guys a fun little garden hack that I love to use. So many of you requested sharing with you how to create an outdoor garden bed with faux flowers. So my biggest tip here is to choose flowers or herbs that are all the same color, and that's going to give it a little bit more of a natural appearance. So for this one, I'm using these beautiful lavender picks. They're 99 cents at Walmart, and then I think the bigger bundle behind me a little bit further back is going to be about $3, and then just some greenery that I picked up at the thrift store. So these are all the same kind of lavender plant. The shade variety is a tiny bit different, and then I'm just taking this garden tree or Dollar Tree garden gate that I had painted white, and I'm going to pop it into the back of there, and here you have it, my fabulous herb garden that will never die on me all season long. And now for the next DIY, I'm just going to take some seasonal florals, and these are just some florals that I had left over from some other projects, and these are just those tulips. I found them at Michael's, but you can actually find tulips at Dollar Tree. And again, this is some of my fake faux gardening. I love this in the backyard because it's super low maintenance. I'm not always back here fussing over flowers, especially when I get busy, especially when it gets blazing hot here during the summer and I want something low maintenance. So to make it appear more real, I clustered all of the pink tulips in the center, and then I'm putting some purple lilacs around it, like something you would maybe kind of see at Lowe's with lots of bright colors. And it will fade by the end of the summer, and I may have to toss these, but for now I think they're looking gorgeous. Now here's the little garden path we've been working on. I found these squares at Walmart, and we just made a garden path from our house to the pool because it was a bit muddy and rocky, and then we just mulched around it, and then Mr. Romantic put the landscaping stuff underneath. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with y'all how to make a super adorable little outdoor pillow using some of those Dollar Tree shopping bags. Okay, so I picked up this super adorable little bee. It's a buzzing bee, super cute little shopping tote, and it is adorable for shopping, but I had another idea for it. I decided I wanted to make an outdoor pillow to go with the bee pillow that I picked up at Walmart. So I'm just going to take and cut off the edges in the bottom and then add some hot glue to the side. And I will tell you, try to use a low temp glue gun. I'm using my high temp glue gun, but on one of the edges that didn't have the seam, it did pucker a little bit. So just be careful with that. Be careful in general when you're using a hot glue gun. But I'm going to take some of this old pillow stuffing from one of my old pillows, and I'm just going to add that in to my little bee pillow. Be patient and let the seams where you're hot gluing dry. I was just trying to get this done after hot gluing that rope table. Oh my goodness, I think I might have been done with hot gluing for the day. But let them dry before you stuff this, because I did have that little corner edge kind of pop open. You want to get it hot glued nice and well, but that's an easy fix. You just add some more hot glue. You do want to leave one end open to be able to stuff your pillow. So glue 3 sides and then stuff your pillow at the end. That's how I do this. And this was a pretty easy one to do. Now, I don't feel like I really got it stuffed quite enough. I did decide to add some little pom-poms to the edge, just to kind of jazz it up and make it fun. And I think this is going to be really cute on my front porch or my little patio area next to my other bee pillows. And it was cute and pink. I love pink. You guys know I love pink. But with the little bumblebees and the cuteness of it, it was an adorable tote. So it definitely should be used for a tote, or could be used for a tote. But I thought it would make an even more adorable pillow. And you could maybe even sew this. I don't have a sewing machine, and I'm not a proficient sewer. I'm really pretty good with my hot glue gun. Oh, and make sure you get your pom-poms like in the right spot. Mine were a little wonky, but hey, that's okay. Give yourself grace more than anything. Listen, I love y'all, and I'm so excited to have you here. Comment and let me know, what is your favorite time of year? What is your favorite season? Do you love spring? Do you love summer, fall, winter? That's going to be the secret question. Don't forget to answer it so you guys can enter my Cricut giveaway. Say hi to Benji Bear down in the comment section. Let me Dollar Tree DIY. I want to share with you how you can make a super adorable kind of 3-tiered garden planter using items from the Dollar Tree. So grab 2 of their garden trellises, and you're going to flip one upside down, kind of nestle them up against each other to where you have 2 columns. And then you can take zip ties, and you want to stabilize them right here in the center part of your little garden trellises. And then you want to stabilize either side or at least the top piece. So I did all 3 rows here on mine, and then you can also take that little extra prong at the top, just bend it backward and then back again, as you guys can see how I'm doing that right here, and then you can trim those off. The next thing I'm doing is taking some of these little Dollar Tree, just little galvanized buckets, and I used my Cricut tool to get the tags off the bottom because we don't want to see the bottoms of the tags. I know I've had people complain about me leaving tags on, so I got them off for you guys. And then I took a little box cutter and poked holes in the back, and then I'm going to zip tie them to the little garden trellis. Now, this is such a fun idea, you guys. If you need more wall space or more floor space and you want to put stuff on your wall. So this would be fun, to do little garden ideas, or you can keep kids' crayons and craft supplies in this. Really, the sky is the limit. So I really wanted this idea to be very versatile for you all. But again, I'm just taking some zip ties and I'm zip tying them to the garden trellis. And to give that little hole punch there, I just used a box cutter. That box cutter cuts into it pretty good. And so here's how it turned out so far. Now I'm going to take these florals that I found off of Amazon, and I'm just going to pop them into my buckets. Now, I actually have a ton of these florals on hand because I'm getting ready to decorate for a friend of mine's wedding. And so that's super exciting. So you guys are going to see some bridal florals popped into some of my creations in the next month or so. And here's how it turned out, you guys. How super adorable is this? I honestly feel like this looks really high end. I mean, I think the florals helps, but Dollar Tree carries pretty florals as well. And I think part of the key to doing something like this is to use all of the same color of flower. That kind of makes things look a little bit more high-end when you do it like that. But also think about this. You guys could use this so easily for ribbon, for scissors, for markers. I mean, you could make this into like a kitchen utensil, whatever you need to hang. Now, I will tell you, you probably can't put a ton of weight into the buckets to where, because these little trellises they're not super sturdy, but they're fine to use in this manner, in my opinion. The florals are pretty lightweight, so I haven't tried it with a heavier item, but if you guys try this, let me know. For this next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to show y'all how to make a super cute little easy Dollar Tree garden chandelier. So take 2 of the garden gates and attach them together, and then take one of the spotter screens, remove the little centerpiece, and then using a craft knife or a box cutter, you can take and poke a hole in the edge of the splatter screen and then zip tie it to the bottom of the garden gate. And that's going to create kind of a thing for your little garden gate to attach to. So I did that about every spot on the garden gate, about 2 to 4 inches apart. And you can kind of see where there's like a little loop underneath there where you can attach that. I will suggest to use the entire 2 pieces of the garden gate. At first I did that, and then I went back and trimmed it off, and that made the garden gate a little bit flimsy. So just keep that extra piece on there and just kind of zip tie it in and around like you see here. And then you can take a pretty heavy duty bit of scissors and you're going to trim off the little edge on the top. And then I poked a hole and then added my little solar piece, and that's what's going to give your chandelier some light. The next thing I wanted to do was cover up, those zip tie edges. We don't want to see that. You guys could use a little garland around the top of it, or you can use some Excelsior moss. It really depends on where you're going to have your little garden chandelier displayed. You can really put it anywhere, like on a little covered porch, or just anywhere that needs that little special space. Maybe you have a sunroom or a nice little spot in your kitchen window. Anyway, now I'm going to take some pretty little garden greenery, and I'm just going to hot glue the greenery or kind of poke it in where the little garden gate has some spaces there. And depending upon where you're going to put it is how much you're going to need to attach it. If it's going to get a lot of wind, you better attach that with some floral wire or even some more zip ties. Now I'm taking this little Dollar Tree. It's supposed to hold a hanging plant, but I just kind of detached it and tied the little rope strings around to where it could hang. They also have the little metal hangers too, but I didn't seem to have any left in my stash or that I could find.
But you guys could just use also some rope to be able to hang it with. Really whatever suits your fancy and what you have on hand will work. And here is how it turned out. I kind of have it hanging in my kitchen window just to kind of give you guys an idea. And it also charged that little solar battery really quickly. I was really surprised. I was nervous that last season's Dollar Tree little solar lights weren't working, but they did charge up pretty quick. And then here is also how it looks hanging outside. Now I'll probably hang on to it and wait for a little bit nicer weather. And then see if you guys can see right there in the center, there's a little solar piece. And you can add more solar hack on how to take some of those little garden flags from Dollar Tree and the little garden stake, and you can pull the little top part of the flag out. It comes with like a plastic piece in it that I guess is just made for hanging, but I'm going to pull that plastic piece out so I can put it onto this little garden flag stand that they sell at Dollar Tree, and that way I have a cute little garden flag. And this is a super easy DIY, you guys. I don't even know that it really should be a DIY, except for maybe some of you guys don't know about this, and I just thought it would be a fun way to jazz up my front little yard without breaking the bank. And it's great for spring. Now, the next thing I want to share with you guys is you can take a wooden dowel or like a little thin shish kebab, or you can just take that piece of plastic, which is what I did, that was in the top, and run it down through the bottom to try to give it a little bit more stability, although mine is definitely whipping around in the wind. We live on the top of a hill, and so our hill catches so much wind. So the minute I put it out there, we're getting some rain soon. So there you guys have that. Check this out. Bloom where you're planted. This little flag is from Dollar Tree. And then again, so is the little garden stake. I also thought it would be fun to share with you guys these cute little Dollar Tree tulips. And they're like little wind milled tulips where they catch the wind and they spin around. Comment down below. I cannot think of what the correct word is for it. I know is it a windmill? Anyway, they're little tulips that spin around, and they caught my eye. I don't know. I think they're just so adorable. I think kiddos or grandkids would love this. And honestly, I got a super big kick out of waiting to see when they would catch the wind. And here they are. I was so hoping to get that on camera for you guys, but how stinking cute is that? Now, this is an empty planter bed. I think I'm going to pop into Walmart. For this Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with y'all how to make a super amazing Dollar Tree garden lantern, or it could also be kind of used as a centerpiece. So I'm going to take 2 of the Dollar Tree garden gates, remove the feet from the bottom of them, and then just attach them end to end. And you can tell it isn't quite making a square like I want it, but you guys could leave it right here and then just put something pretty in the center of it, and that would work. I decided to go one step further with it and take 4 Dollar Tree 8x10 picture frames. I removed the glass, and also I removed the backing from it, and I'm going to use this to stabilize my little garden gate and make it more of like a lantern shape. So now be careful when you're working with these Dollar Tree picture frames. They can have a tendency to pop apart very easy, so you kind of want to go easy on them. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some zip ties to zip tie the corners. I zip tied the corners at the base of this project and also at the top. Again, be careful with the frames. I did lose 2 of the bottom parts of one of my frames, but because they were already zip tied in, it didn't give my structure any problems. So that's just a little tip from me to you. And be patient with it. Give yourself grace. Maybe even pick up an extra frame or 2 if you feel like you might have trouble with it. You could also add a popsicle stick or a dowel to the corner of it to stabilize it even more. Once I had all of my little frames added, I wanted to make this look cohesive, so I'm using this metallic finish spray paint, and it's kind of in a copper rose gold color. I get this at Walmart, and I gave it a good coat on the outside, and then I flipped it over and gave it another coat. That way all those little garden gatey things were covered. And now you can see it looks a lot more cohesive and less Frankenstein-y. Now I'm taking one of these little Dollar Tree garden kneeling mats, and this is what I'm going to use to make my centerpiece. I'm taking some of the little moss sheets, also from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to hot glue them on top of this little mat. You might want to use E6000 glue if you live in an area that gets really blazing hot and you feel like the hot glue, might not stay on there. This is just going to go on a table, so I think it'll be fine. I'm also using a Dollar Tree cutting tool. Actually, I'm using a cutting tool, but I'm popping some Dollar Tree solar stakes down inside of it. So this is just a little box cutter. I'm making a hole right into my foam, and I'm also attaching that with hot glue. Again, use E6000 glue if you need a more permanent, really sturdy, strong hold. It is going to be in the sun, so I don't want anything to fall apart on you. Now I'm taking some wire, and I'm going to wire some ivy around this entire thing. My daughter had ordered this ivy off of Amazon and used it for a project and then didn't need it anymore, and was so sweet to share it with me. I did add, to the little corners, a little tiny bit of Dollar Tree wire, and that held my ivy on really nicely, and it also kind of covered up a little bit of that weird edge that I had going on at the top. It really wasn't noticeable, and I thought it looked really pretty, but so here it is with ivy on the inside, and then I also added some in and around the base. And I think this is such a beautiful project, especially if you're doing something for like a garden themed wedding. Another idea is you could put it by your fireplace. If you have a spot that gets sun, these are just two little Dollar Tree signs that I glued together, put popsicle sticks on the back, painted it, and then added some Dollar Tree candlesticks. And then here's how kind of it would look if it was a glow going to it. I found this little birdcage topper thing or cloche at the Goodwill, and I thought it might be pretty to pop in there as well. And here is how this looks. So fun and fabulous on a total budget. And I thought this was a great idea. So many of you guys have been asking me to do a lantern, and I thought this was great for a fun little garden lantern. This Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys how to make a super adorable little Dollar Tree clay pot gnome. Okay, so I saw this on Pinterest, and I needed 3 clay pots, and they each need to be a little bit smaller than the other one. But Dollar Tree carries these plastic ones, and so I feel like this was okay to use. You're going to paint over it anyway, or at least I am for mine. You don't have to necessarily do that. And this was all that I had on hand, and I didn't really want to just run to the craft store just for 1 clay pot. But just to let you guys know, when you do this project, you want 3 clay pots, and they need to be, each one needs to be a little bit smaller than the other one. So they need to be able to kind of like gently stack, but also mesh with each one. And so the other 2 clay pots that I'm painting pink are going to be the gnome's hats, or the gnome's hat. So you put 2 of the little pots together, and these 2 are from Dollar Tree, and the other one is from Dollar Tree as well. It's just a plastic pot and not a clay one. So then I'm also adding hot glue to the base of this, and then I'm going to pop that on to the other pot. And I think these would be such a fun project to do with your kiddos or grandkids. And then here's your little gnome beard. You just paint it on with some white paint. Super easy peasy. Now this isn't going to be the most professional looking gnome or craft by any means, and my green paint was even still a little bit wet. So I'm trying to get this all done in one day for you guys, to get this out there for you. But you guys get the drift, and you can tell I have allergies going on right now, and I actually didn't wear any makeup today. So anyway, there's that. So I'm just painting the little white beard, and you guys have options for the nose. You can do like a little button nose, you can do a wooden bead nose, you could really do any little gnome nose that suits your fancy. But I just thought this was so cute when I saw this idea. I definitely knew I had to recreate it. And you could also just, use that bearded stuff that you can get at Michael's. It looks like it comes in a little sheet, and it's just like fur beard stuff. That would work too. But hey, I had all of this on hand, which I know you guys might as well. And then I just added a cute little bead for the nose, and boom, I have a fun little clay pot gnome. Oh my goodness, you guys, I thought this was so fun, especially too because it was so easy. I kind of love those easy crafts. So fun and fabulous on a budget. for this Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys a super adorable little garden gate decor craft. So this is going to take one of those little Dollar Tree wooden kind of trays. You get this in the Crafters Square section, and I'm just going to paint it this pretty kind of springtime green. I found this at Walmart. And so I'm just going to go ahead and paint this. And then what I want to do is I want to add the little mini garden tool to the back of it, and then place the Meet Me at the Garden Gate sign in the front and decorate it with some of these cute little clay pots. Now, quick little question for you guys. I would love to know what your favorite spring decorating color is going to be this season. Do you gravitate towards all of the pastels, or do you love greens, purples, yellows, blues, pinks? Drop a comment down below and let me know. That's going to be the secret question for our video. Yes, I'm going to bring back those secret questions. So then once I had that done, I also decided to color coordinate the handle of my little mini garden tool here. And this garden tool is from Dollar Tree. In fact, all of the goodies that we're going to use in this project are from Dollar Tree. So this is just a fun little way you guys can create a decor piece on a budget and kind of set it up like it's like a little scene. In fact, I was going to add some little garden critters to this, but I completely forgot. So what I want to do is just hot glue the base of my garden tool and pop that on, and then add a dab of hot glue to the back of my garden tool, and then add this cute little sign that says Meet Me at the Garden Gate, and then pop in these clay pots. These are just some mini clay pots from Dollar Tree. And then I'm adding in this cute little bunny. This bunny actually came off of another Dollar Tree sign that I had used on a different project, and it's just kind of floating around in my craft stash. So I'm just going to pop that onto the back of this, and I just thought this was such a fun idea. I added some of those little faux moss stones to my clay pots, and this is where I love really getting creative, and where I really think you could get creative with your kiddos and grandkids if they wanted to join in on this project. You could add some little fairy garden critters. I'm adding some little flowers. Again, these were just in my craft stash, but just have fun with it. I think I have like some of those little miniature Dollar Tree fairy garden frogs that I had wanted to add in, and they must have been floating around. I just completely forgot about it, but I'm going to go back and add those. I just thought that this was so cute. And you see little goodies like this, you know, at boutiques and home decor stores, and you guys can customize this with pretty much any sign. And the little sign also came from Dollar Tree. It was like in their garden section. So I just thought that was really fun. And of course, you guys know me. It's not one of my creations without a bow, so I just took some ribbon, looped it over on itself, and hot glued a bow to the back to kind of match in with the greens. And voila, you have a fabulous little garden gate project on a budget. I'm going to share with you how I made a cross decor piece using a Dollar Tree garden gate. So I'm going to start out by cutting this center section of the garden gate out. The part with the little pointy end at the base there is going to be the center point of my cross. Now this is how I'm making my cross, but please feel free to create your own designs. I would love to see how you all make a cross using the items you have on hand. So if you can't find the garden cross from Dollar Tree, create a cross using whatever scrap pieces that you have in your home. Get creative. You could use popsicle sticks, you could use jewelry, you could use so many different things to make this project with. This would also be fun to do with kiddos by doing a popsicle cross. So now you can see I cut out another section of the garden fence. This is the rounded section. I'm cutting out this section to create an arm for my cross. So I have my center point cut out, and now I'm cutting out the arm section. Also be careful when you're cutting into this plastic. It's not super hard to cut, but it is a little bit tricky, and the pieces kind of fly everywhere. So if you have small kiddos around, just be conscious of that when you're making this craft. So here is my first section of the cross. It's going to be the arm part. You can see it's that little pointy piece, and then the little two scrolly pieces. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the other side of the garden little stake here, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. So I'm cutting out that little scrolly and center point piece again to create the other side of my arm. So now I'm just going to cut out another section of my cross. I'm going for that centerpiece because I want to create some height in the center of my cross. So I'm cutting out another one of those centerpieces with a little scrolly design on either side. And I will tell you that I actually have created this cross several different ways, just kind of playing around with the pieces. I got the idea on Sunday, actually after our pastor spoke on hope. I just knew it was what I needed to bring to you guys, and I've had kind of a DIY like this floating around in my head, so I'm excited to bring it to you all. But again, there's different ways that you can kind of take these sections and create a cross. You could also even do a couple of smaller ones, but I was going for a larger one. I want to use this in my living room, on my mantle, or just somewhere where I can have this beautiful reminder of my faith. And so you can see that I put that section down at the bottom, but I did also just kind of play around with different ways that I could do this one. So just keep kind of trimming those garden pieces and find how you really want it all to go together. So I did even end up trimming off some of the little pointy parts, and those are going to be the top part of my cross. So for the next part of this Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to use 2 of the love signs. These were from Valentine's Day, and I actually have already done a DIY with this project. So I'm repurposing and reusing for this Let's Stay Home project. Again, I did already chalk paint this, but I wanted to share this portion of the DIY with you because I'm reusing these signs, and so I did go ahead and chalk paint both of these signs. They ended up taking several coats of the Kilns brand chalk paint. I think the Waverly works much better, but again, use what you have on hand. So now that I have them both finished up, I'm just going to take some popsicle sticks and attach them. I ended up using about 5 or 6. You can hot glue them to the back of both your signs to create one sign. So now that I have my sign all done, I did want to patch the top part with a little bit of this patch and paint. This is spackling. You can get it at Dollar Tree. You might already have it on hand, but this is optional. You could also cover up those holes with a little jewel, or I don't worry about them many times, but I just wanted to show you guys another piece to this project. I did have some Waverly Antique Wax on hand. You could also use any kind of craft paint to just kind of give your project a little bit of a distressed look. You can probably see kind of underneath this where I had already distressed it. Again, I'm reusing this project and this board. So I'm just going in with a bit of that wax, and I'm kind of gently rubbing it around the tops and the center points to give it kind of an aged appearance, just to make it kind of look old. Again, this step is definitely optional, and the wax is really forgiving. You can really rub it in really well with your towel or rag. I'm just using an old towel, and then once I have that all finished up, here is how that is going to look once you've applied the wax, if you do have that on hand. If not, don't worry about it. So now I'm going to take the pieces of my cross and begin to place them on my board to make sure that they're going to fit correctly, and also just to see how I need to space everything out before I glue everything down. So again, here are the 2 arms, here's the center point, here's the base of my cross, and then I did end up changing that to the top section because I felt like that would look just a little bit better, and so I used this longer section for the base. But again, you guys can really play with this and see what fits on whatever board you have to use, and just kind of play around with it to get the best fit for your project. Make this your own. So, and then I'm going to use some E6000 glue. That's going to get my cross to hold on really well. And I also used some hot glue. So the hot glue will hold temporarily, and the E6000 glue will be more of a permanent hold. You're not going to want to use a whole super ton of glue, but enough glue that you can get your project to kind of stay on. And I did end up having a little bit of problem with one of my arms. I had to re-glue it. So try not to get too frustrated if you have to do a bit of re-gluing. You can always add some dabs of paint over any messy points, or add some pretty jewels or ribbons, or even flowers would look really pretty on this as well. Again, I'm running that E6000 glue down some of the center point of my arm here, and then I'm going to add some hot glue to really get it to hold really well. Once I was through attaching my little garden gate pieces, this is how my cross ended up looking. Now I'm going to go in with this large jewel. I get all of my jewels at totallydazzled.com. I will leave a link below for you, but they come in a 15 pack or 10 pack, and they're super inexpensive, you guys, like $1.50 each, and they're absolutely gorgeous. So fun to craft with. So I'm going to use some E6000 glue and also some hot glue to go ahead and attach this beautiful jewel to the center of my cross. And then I do want to go ahead and also share with you guys, I decided to add an end piece to my cross, and so I just trimmed off one of those little pointy pieces and I added one to the end of this part of my cross, and then I also added it to the top of my cross, just using a tiny bit of E6000 and hot glue, and voila, I was so excited for this project. I love having ideas in my head that are able to turn out really pretty darn good. I was just really excited because I had everything on hand, number one, but also it's just a symbol of hope for us all. And so I would love to see your crosses. Hashtag me Olivia's Romantic Home. Show me your cross, no matter what you make it out of. It could be flowers, it could be jewels, it could be rulers, popsicle sticks, you could paint one. I would just love to see what you all can come up with. Dollar Tree DIY. I want to share with you how to make a beautiful kind of little romantic style lantern. I found these wonderful little 5x7 frames, and what I want to do is I want to remove everything from the frame, and then even remove the little clips. Now you remove the little clips that hold the glass in. You want to remove them and go inward when you pull them out. Don't try to pull them out straight the opposite direction, or it will break that frame. I have learned that so many times with the Dollar Tree frames. They're really fragile and can break really easy. I did replace the glass back into the frames by hot gluing the glass back in, and you can always use like a little bit of super glue as well. And now I'm just going to glue them all together, and that's going to create my little glass lantern, which I think these are amazing for centerpieces or table toppers. And you might want to use a bonding glue like E6000 if you're going to be hosting an event, so your little frames don't pop off or pop apart. For this project in just my home, I think it's fine because it's not going to be moved around or transported, but I highly suggest that because these are fairly delicate. The next thing I did was take one of those Dollar Tree garden knee pads, and I hot glued that to the top of this, kind of like using a piece of foam because I want to create a beautiful floral, which I thought was so fun. I know there's going to be so many bridal and Easter centerpieces that are going to be made this season. So I thought this was just a really fun idea for you guys to recreate. And then you can put whatever you want down below in your little glass lantern. So you could put some beautiful candles. You could put a loved one's picture in there, a little figurine, just really whatever floats your boat. You guys can get so creative with things and just really have fun with it. And then I'm also using some of kind of the leftover greenery here to cover in and around the edges of where you can see the little foam knee pad. And the little foam knee pad is one of the gardener pads, so it's going to be in your spring gardening section. And so I think it looks so pretty kind of trickling down. I feel like this is such a beautiful romantic floral, like something you would see in just a romantic area garden. I want it to feel like it's like a little secret garden, spring garden type feel. So I hope you guys are inspired by this to create a beautiful lantern of your own. And again, I did just pop a couple little candles in here. I thought the little heart-shaped candle with the romance, and then the other little candle was just so precious and sweet. And there you guys have that. So super fun and fabulous on a total budget, and just very romantic and precious, and I feel like kind of high end by leaving that glass in. You don't necessarily have to do that. And again, I do suggest using kind of a bonding glue if you want it to stay really good, like E6000 or super glue, but then also using the hot glue. So for this next Dollar Tree DIY, I have to share with you all how to create a super amazing Dollar Tree wall sign or wall hanger or wood sign. So we're going to create kind of like a faux wood look here by taking the love signs. I'm just taking 2 of these larger signs, and these were from Valentine's Day, and I'm just going to chalk paint them. And I chose white because this is what matches my decor, but really you guys could choose any color that you love. So go ahead and paint it up. And I did also sand the little spots where the little hearts were at. Hey, I love these signs. I always pick up a couple extra to craft with, and then one to decorate with. But anyway, I'm going to flip it over and then add some popsicle sticks to the back of it. And that is going to keep this sign held together. And I will tell you that I have reused this sign for multiple seasons and multiple projects, and it works. It stays together. The next thing I want to do is customize it with this Dollar Tree Home Sweet Home, and this is one of their garden flags. They are out right now in your store. You could look in the garden section, and they're kind of tucked away. They might be hanging in and around different areas. I find them in different areas in different stores, but this Home Sweet Home flag works perfectly for a sign, you guys. I was so stoked to find out this, and the next thing I was really excited was that Mod Podge works really great with these flags. So if you find a really cute little garden flag at Dollar Tree, they're kind of thin and flimsy, but hey, they work perfectly for signs. Another idea would be to use a pizza pan. That's really what I wanted to use, but Dollar Tree has been sold out of pizza pans for I don't know how long in my area. So anyway, you're going to add a nice layer of Mod Podge to your sign, and then you want to lay your flag down, and then you can just Mod Podge over that, and that's going to seal it in. And I did cut my little flag out. It did have a blue background, which was cute, but I wanted to tone it down just a little bit and make it kind of like a little bit French country, French farmhouse chic. And so there you have that. And if you wanted to go a step further, you could add a bow or some greenery or whatnot. I decided to not add a bow yet, and I'll tell you why, because I still need to pull down all my Easter decor and then start working with some of my new spring summer decor and what looks good in my kitchen and what accent like patterns I want to use. I'm probably going to go with stripes or buffalo check if I do decide to add a bow. So just a little side note there. But I was super pumped for this project. It came out looking really nice, and you don't have to use your Cricut, although I do love using my little Cricut, but it's just so fast and easy. And also I wanted you guys to know that Dollar Tree has a rooster flag that they just put out. I found it yesterday. So check for the little garden flags, and there's a gnome one, a lemon one, a rooster one. There's some really cute ones, and you guys could really make some adorable signs. And the garden flag doesn't bleed either. That's another thing, you know, you always have to watch out for when you're using Mod Podge or some type of adhesive glue. You may also be able to use a spray adhesive.
So thank you all so much for joining me on another fun and fabulous crafty decor adventure. It is a true blessing and honor to have you all here. If you all are new, welcome. I'm Olivia with Olivias Romantic Home, and I'd love to share with you all how you can make your home's boutique gorgeous on a budget. I truly believe that y'all don't have to break the bank to have a fabulous, amazing home. Now, recently I've taken up golf lessons. That's kind of a funny thing for me, but I'm trying to acquire some new hobbies and also things that I can do as a lifelong sport or hobby. So you guys know I love to craft and decorate on a budget, but I want to encourage you guys today in this video. I've been trying to do like little encouragements at the end of every video. Take up something new that you have never tried before. And of all things, I would have never thought that I wanted to do golf. But it actually is really fun and relaxing. It gives me something to focus on. It's super cheap to go to a driving range and bring your little putter and just hit some balls. Anyway, I love it so far. And so I just want to encourage you guys to take up something new. Maybe try a new recipe, try a new sport at any age. Go back to school and take a class. Do something fun that will engage you and entertain you. Try a new craft or a decorating idea. So I love y'all. I want to encourage you guys to keep putting one foot in front of the other. I'd love to craft and decorate on a budget, and we do have fall and Christmas crafting coming up. It's going to be around the corner before we know it, and I know that because King of Christmas, which is a Christmas decorating store, contacted me and wants to work with me. So I'm hoping to get that together to share with you guys. I know they have a lot of beautiful Christmas ideas and decor, and they wanted to know my ideas on Christmas decorating. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a little teaser of what I want to do in my home. I want to take it back to a little bit more of a neutral palette. The last couple of years I've done a lot of candy cane, really red and white theme, which is great. I'm probably going to do that in maybe my kitchen, but I do want to incorporate a little bit of a softer, subdued look this year in my home. So we're going to start on some Christmas ornaments, doing Christmas in July. You guys know I love that. I will be taking a vacation with my family at the end of June, so I may take a little bit of a break then, but we'll see. I may pop in some videos here and there. But anyway, I just want to encourage you guys, keep putting one foot in front of the other. We have a lot of fun things coming up, and thank you guys for being here. It's just me, you, and this phone. I actually film now on my phone, my camera phone. So it's very small, very cottagey, and I'm still in the same little home. So no matter where you're at and what you're doing, embrace life for what you have going on. Even if there's big bumps in the road, which I'm going to tell you guys, in the last couple of years, there's been a lot of bumps for everybody, including myself. We've lost people, we've had circumstances change, and no matter where you're at, and you've been, if you wake up in the morning and you open up your eyes, you pop open your eyes, that's your chance that God has given you another day to smile, another day to be positive or make a difference somehow in this world. And you're thinking to yourself, well, I can't make a difference. But yes, you can. If you're watching this video, you're on a social media platform. So to make a difference, you guys can comment down below. You can go to my Facebook page and like it over there and share some of my fun crafting activities. I know that a lot of people say that my crafts are relaxing to them. So thank you guys always for sharing and for commenting and loving on me. But your positive, kind comments on not only my videos, but on your friend's Facebook posts. Maybe your friend posted a picture of their kid or their grandkid. When people post things, those are things from their heart a lot of times. And when they're positive, don't skip by that. Give them a little bit of heart. Give them a kind comment and encouragement. And I will tell you, if there's something that you don't like, keep scrolling, keep going. You don't have to put negativity out in the world. When you put your smiles and your love out into this world, that smile and love is going to come back to you. I promise. And no matter how bad of a day you're having, you're going to feel better just by putting out some love. So here is my hug from me to you. I love y'all, and I'm praying for you always. If you need prayer, drop it in the comment section below. Keep going, keep crafting and decorating. And until our next video, remember, be kind to yourselves and be kind to one another. Talk to you guys very soon. Bye.